There is no such thing as distance as we know it. Distance, measured in visual terms, is a halfway point between the physical and the purely, for lack of a better word, immaterial realm. When someone becomes distant, she goes to another location. And to do so, she figuratively or literally becomes smaller to an observer who remains behind. On our physical, material plane, extreme manifestations are named distance, and they exist in a perceptibly continuous space. However, the immaterial plane, which intersects with the physical, is made up of what is termed discontinuous space. Let us say you are at point A with one friend, and you want to visit another friend at point B, which lies at the extreme end of this wide, elongated valley. What you do is say goodbye to friend A and move toward where you believe point B to be located, following a theoretical line. Friend A, unmoving, watches you leave, watches you literally become smaller to his eyes. At some point, we will call it X, you disappear to him altogether, which means he forgets you. At some point, call it Y, which may or may not be the same as point X. You suddenly appear in the smallest discernible size to friend B and become larger for him until you stand before him in actual size. This means he truly sees you for the first time. It is agreed that a person can change from one location to another by willing it, much as she can make the muscles of her arm move by willing them to. The muscles of the arm often move without conscious participation, as when you find your arm abruptly lifting off a heated coil or in the midst of an obscene gesture you had no intention to make. let us postulate that you can will yourself to another location and that it can be accomplished in more than one way.
In the physical world, movement is accomplished by an expenditure of energy.
By an expenditure of energy. A few in our material world are born with the ability to will themselves
to another location without engaging the body. During such travel, the physical body remains fixed, while a mind conglomerate travels to another location. In examining accounts, it seems verifiable that emotions themselves perform as fuel.
In examining accounts, it seems verifiable that emotions themselves perform as fuel. I have personally experienced this.
And will subsequently relate the details. In the immaterial world, the total you does in fact get smaller, but no energy is consumed in the process. In fact, energy is released to the environment,
but no energy is consumed
in inverse proportion to size.
People on the plane of mind experience each other intensely in the moment, but there is no distance per se. Allow me to explain.
People on the plane of mind experience each other intensely in the moment, but there is no distance per se. Allow me to explain. The visual sense remains intact, but it is as if the entire body has become the eyes, comparable to the sensate acuity of the membrane of a cell.
Travel does not exist on the immaterial plane. Rather, we speak of the ability to manifest.
Travel does not exist on the immaterial plane. Rather, we speak of the ability to manifest at different locations. This means theoretically that one could exist at an infinite number of locations, and size would be infinitely small at each.
Number of locations, and size would be infinitely small at each. However, such shrinking creates an influx of energy. Energy
Such shrinking creates an influx of energy. Energy is specifically increased by multiple manifestations. That is the law.